Farms and forests cover more than half of Cumberland County, and the agricultural industry contributes more than $145 million to the county's economy each year. The population of Cumberland County increased 15% from 1990 to 2008. In light of base realignment and closure and the expansion of Fort Bragg, the county's population is projected to increase by 35,000 residents over the next 20 years. In the fall, the Board of Commissioners approved the Working Lands Protection Plan, which provided an assessment of the county's agricultural industry, identified challenges and opportunities, and developed strategies to protect the county's working lands while promoting its agricultural industry. Cooperative Extension Director Lisa Childers and Dr. Sandy Maddox of the Lois G. Britt Agribusiness Center at Mount Olive College described the plan.
The purpose of the Working Lands Protection Plan is really threefold. First, it's to provide an assessment of the agricultural industry in our county, identify challenges and opportunities, as well as developing some strategies and actions that will help us to protect the county's working lands.
Not in any way to regulate lands, but it's certainly a preservation tool that's been put out there where we can look at ways to protect the farms and forests that are so important to the economy of North Carolina. The BRAC Regional Task Force led the effort, but of course the county had to bring in partners. Mount Olive College is a partner. We actually were what we would call the principal investigator. We did a lot of the surveying, the interviewing, the writing and the editing of the plans based on information which we gathered in each county.
If you just stay within our city limits, you probably don't think of agriculture when you're in Cumberland County, but if you start to travel out throughout our county, you'll see that we really do have a very viable industry in this county. And I would say overall we just have a very diverse production. We have soybeans, corn, cotton, tobacco has doubled in acreage this year. And for our poultry industry, we produce over 5 million broilers each year. And as well as we have a very impressive swine industry. We rank 16th in the state. Overall, the industry it's a $92 million industry in Cumberland County. So we definitely have a viable industry here and one that we really want to protect.
Cumberland is a little unique in the fact that it houses Fort Bragg. And really, this was an effort that was initiated through, as I said, the BRAC Regional Task Force, because they recognized what growth and development could occur with the influx of troops that they expected from the closure of other bases in Georgia. So they took it upon themselves to start developing regional planning efforts, not only in land use, but also in workforce development, infrastructure development, and those types of efforts. So they looked at it as a regional effort to try and prepare our region for this influx and development and growth, which could have an impact on farm and forest. So it's important, it's a symbiotic relationship between the base and what they feel are compatible uses, such as farms and forests.
Some of the recommendations that were promoted in this plan, one of them would be to promote the expansion and diversification of the agricultural industry in the county. And this would include promoting biotechnology and research, really supporting the farmers market and increasing marketing programs to support local agriculture. There certainly is a large push for supporting local agriculture, and we want to make sure that our citizens know what is available to them. And so I think with that strategy, it'll be very useful for Cumberland County, for our citizens to know what's available for them.
But ultimately, the decision of farmland preservation rests in the hands of the landowner. That's their ultimate decision, how they choose to utilize their land, and we in no way, through this plan, intend to restrict or guide their decision making on what they do with their farm or forest land.
Well, now that the plan has been created and approved, now you ask yourself, what is the next step? And the next step for Cumberland County is to identify out of those strategies, what are the things we want to work on, and begin to look at grant funding and begin to write for those grants. And if anyone from the public would like a copy of the Working Lands Protection Plan, once it is completed in its entirety, it will be posted on our website at Cooperative Extension. They can also contact our office for a copy of the Working Lands Protection Plan, and they can see if it would be a benefit to them if they want to do something within their community to support the strategies of the plan. Overall, the Working Lands Protection Plan really serves to recognize that farming is an important component of our county's economy, and that preserving farming is in our public's interest. And finally, that farmland is just an irreplaceable natural resource, and they're just not making any more farmland. As you hear all the time, a farmer will say they're not making any more land, and so it's really up to us to make sure that we preserve it for future generations.